Yes, again, like I said before, we're going to this criminal law 1, PUL341. And we're good morning, students, and welcome to this facilitation class. This is an instructional video for you on criminal law 341. That's PUL 341. So, for this class, we're going to take you through the general introduction of what crime is all about, what offenses are. We're also going to look at briefly. We're also going to look at the purpose of what crime is, its nature, and we shall also be looking at the historical aspect of crime briefly, how criminal law came about. Like I've always said, this class promises to be very interesting and very interactive because it has to do with everything we see every day, offenses against the individual, against the state, and who is responsible, who is to prosecute, who is not to prosecute. I'm Dr. Alera Akujobi, your facilitator for this class, and I encourage every one of you to be on ground for the facilitation so that we all are carried along. Once again, thank you for being around. Thanks. To be looking at the definition of crime to understand what crime is. Basically, crime can also be seen as offenses, and a precise definition of crime is normally problematic. However, the following definitions will suffice. Section 2 of the Criminal Code defines crime or offense as an act or omission which renders the person doing the act or making the omission liable to punishment under the code or under any other law or act. Also, in the case of Articles Trade Association and Attorney General of Canada, Lord Atkins remarked on the definition of crime thus: as the domain of criminal jurisprudence can only be ascertained by examining what acts or at any particular period are declared by the state as crimes, and the only common nature that will be found to possess is that they are prohibited by the state and that those who commit them are punished. From the above, it can be deduced that crime is antisocial behavior within the community or society. Also, it is a disapproval that must be supported by punitive sanctions. Mere general disapproval is not enough. Criminal law, therefore, can be said to be any act or omission which falls within the general disapproval of the society, supported by punitive sanctions in the form of imprisonment, fines, or other forms of punishment. It is a conduct prescribed by the state with attached sanctions. For this class, your first activity will be to give me your own definition or your own view of what crime is all about. With that, I'll be able to understand, or you'll be able to understand from your own environment what constitutes crime. In looking at this, always take note of the following factors. That, of course, in looking at, we must always take care of the nature of crime. That is, that it must be something that is disapproved by your community, and above all, there must be a law within that community that prescribes it. So, I look forward to getting your own answers to that question of what is your own view of crime. We shall now be looking at purposes of crime. Generally, the purpose of criminal law is to preserve public order, public decency, protect citizens from what is injurious or offensive. It also provides sufficient safeguards against the exploitation of the less privileged or the less vulnerable in the society. Criminal law, like we said, is also a part of public law, and liability is determined by legal proceedings. The proceedings for criminal trial can be a distinguishing mark from crime and civil law. The actual prescription of crime is by the state, and the state still controls them, even though the individual may be undertaken in some instances. The main object of crime, like I said, is basically punishment. And looking at crime, or how do I study more about criminal law? Your class activity will be basically to discuss 3 sources of criminal law in Nigeria. I want to thank you for listening to me, and I look forward to getting your response to these questions. Thank you.